You need to open up the stream for us too.
Yeah, make sure you reopen it in Discord. Okay, I think we are back. Okay, sorry about that hiccup, folks, but we are back. And the next match that we're going to be getting into here in a minute is going to be that rematch, Frostbite versus Los Inklings. We did watch this in winners round 1, and they are going to be playing for the chance to go up against Wipeout Punks, who we did just see have a fairly strong showing against Destiny Bond, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, it should go in the favor of Frostbite. It was once again, it was a pretty strong, showing for them in that first one. They were able to win 2-0, and I would say pretty handily as well. So let's see if Los Inklings, who's found their way, this far in the bracket, are they going to be able to, put up a fight, going up against Frostbite once again. In this next one. So excited to see if they're able to adapt at all to what they were seeing in that first step.
Yeah, and that adaptation, I'm hoping to see them really pull out something that's going to give them an edge in this rematch, because being able to adapt is a very important part when it comes to basically any competitive game. Splatoon's no different. You are going to want to take what you learned from the first loss versus Frostbite and try and craft a strategy, a way for you to get around that and really give them a run for their money coming into this rematch.
Yep, for sure here. And, it was also a case where those first two maps that they played were definitely favored, to an E-Leader comp. Coming into was Mahi Zones and Brinewater Springs, which Brinewater Springs was Los Inklings counterpick.
Their counterpick, yeah.
So you gotta wonder, are they gonna want to go back to that counterpick, or do they want to go to something else, knowing the team composition that Frostbite likes to bring out?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see them go for potentially like a Mako Mart, which I would consider an even better map for the Explosher, because clearly they went to Brinewater with the idea that, okay, we should switch to our own backline. We think the Explosher is strong. I would agree with them. I think it is a pretty underrated backline weapon that could definitely see some good usage. So maybe they want to consider going to a different map that might be good for the Explosher. Maybe even the likes of Undertow. Explosher definitely has seen some play on that map as well as Mako Mart, and it would be those maps are definitely less prevalent for the E-Leader, I'd say, than Brinewater. Not that the E-Leader is bad on either of those, but it's not going to have the exact same presence. Your Explosher will have some more freedom to do what they want, with the likes of Glass and just being a bit farther back towards your plat.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. And, there are maps that Explosher, I think, can really excel versus an E-Leader. We mentioned it earlier, the Brinewater Springs, it can be a good map, a choice for that map in general, but it's also, you have to compare it to what it's going against on the other side. And I think the E-Leader got the slight edge on that map mode in particular. So if you're able to pick a map where you can get an advantage and kind of play into the sightlines that the Explosher likes against the E-Leader, I think you could really maybe change the tide of the battle right there. So I think it's definitely something Los Inklings has to think about if they find themselves in another situation, where they need to counterpick.
Yeah, absolutely. I am curious to see what this next map we're going to be getting into is going to be. Los Inklings are taking their time deciding what they want to play. It is about 20 seconds left until match start. We can see most of Frostbite is locked in. I'm curious to know if perhaps Los Inklings is really thinking up a new type of strategy. Maybe they have some different weapons that they want to try going into this rematch, but we will find out here in a few seconds.
Yep. Right now, all teams are going to be getting ready as we move on to this first game of this losers round right here. And it is going to be Los Inklings versus Frostbite. And we're going to be starting on Undertow Spillway.
Okay.
So a map that you thought might play into their favor, but no, they're actually going to be going with a double roller comp. We saw them do that in the first game. I believe it was the Carbon Roller and the Flings Roller. This time they're going to be bringing out the regular Splat Roller, which has that curling bomb and big bubbler. So might be able to put in some damage if they're able to get control. This is a comp where, if you're able to get in control, you can really, keep a lot of your control if you're able to throw out those sharking rollers. But if you find yourself in a position where you have to retake, you can find yourself fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, and right there we saw that killer whale forcing the Sun Girl off of his glass, and like we were talking about, the vanilla roller did see some play on this map early on. Big Bubbler is actually quite good on this map, I would say. You're able to get right up into the middle of that spine, and this car, oh my gosh, the Carbon coming out with a very, very big double, and they're able to just keep control. Los Inklings, they are struggling once again. They have that Zuka, they have that whale. Well, the Carbon goes down, so they're not gonna have that Zuka anymore. They have the big bubble on the left, but Frostbite is pressuring it immediately. The whale's also coming out, but they're just not able to get anything done on the side of Los Inklings. The roller is sharking.
Trying to make a play to get in there, but not going to be able to get anything done before the timer runs out right there. That's going to be Frostbite taking that one pretty handily. You said it. There was some expert roller play coming out on the side of Frostbite. Despite there being two rollers on the other side, just really played into the favor of Frostbite and showing exactly, why they got that 2-0 in the first set.
Yeah, that double right there at the end really just sealed it up. There's no way those players are going to be able to come back off respawn and build up specials that are going to be able to help them get back into mid and neutralize those zones. We did see the big bubbler coming out, but when you're just stuck in left there and you're just a roller, there's not really much that you can do. It's not like you're painting the zone. You're stuck right under your grates, and the enemy team, they just shred through the bubble and then shred through your team while they're coming in trying to support you.
Yep.
Let's see if Los Inklings can bring it back in this next game, though. This is going to be their counter pick, as we are using the counter pick system. I'm curious to see what they're going to go with this time. They seem to really like this double roller, and they're picking Brine Water once again. Knowing that the enemy team is playing that E-Leader, I expect to see the Explosher again, I'd assume.
Not only knowing that the enemy team is going with the E-Leader, but knowing that the enemy team has beaten you on this map before. So it's a very interesting pick coming out from them. But, at this point in the game, it seems like Frostbite is the better team. Maybe Los Inklings just thinks, maybe we could figure something out here compared to the first game, and maybe that'll work to our advantage. Not going up to an unknown stage where both of us, are kind of playing from, ground zero. Let's see if we can work off of what happened in that first game and kind of use that to our advantage now.
Yeah, it's very clear that Los Inklings does favor this map. It just goes to show that they're willing to continue to pick it into the E-Leader, and also the fact that they have already lost it to the likes of Frostbite. But let's see what they go with. Yep, they are going to have that Explosion, and they're going to have Glugas?
Yeah, this is the Gluga Dualies right here. Gluga Dualies does have that Booyah. Honestly, I think it's Booyah Bomb, right? Yeah, Booyah Bomb and Splash Wall.
Yep. I think the Glugas are pretty underrated. This will be interesting to see what they're able to get done with this weapon. You can see the E-Leader already going to work, getting that first pick, and now they're trying to deal with these Tetras that are taking home in their pillow, not able to escape though, and they're getting pressured all the way back to their spawn. This poor Explosher, he's trying to get kills, but it's just so hard when someone's right up in your face and you're forced to have that long animation. All the while, they weren't able to flip the zone, but I have to wonder how long they're going to be able to maintain this.
Yeah, right now, it is going to be up to Slug to, I think, at least get in a position where the roller might be favorable. If they're able to get the pick right there, and they do, that's going to be pretty big right there, as now they're going to be in a trade situation, but actually they got the pick onto X-Ray, so he's the Tetra Dualies, and look, they're already back into the fray while the roller's still coming in, thanks to that quick respawn that they are carrying right here. So now that is going to be the zone possibly being flipped back in the other direction. 2 down on both sides. Actually, 3 down on the side of... Actually, I think everybody's down except for Sakura.
Excellent shot. Yeah, excellent.
Nice shots coming out.
Excellent shot. Oh my gosh, really showing just why this is considered an E-Leader map. Those are 2 excellent shots to keep the zone neutralized and then eventually get it flipped over for his team. And now you can see X-Ray, he is going to work. He is trying to pressure up the enemy ramp, but he sees that he goes down. One of his splashes falling. Now he's going to fall. It's the chance for Los Inklings to really get back in here. They do have that Ink Storm. I wonder when they're going to pop it. Looks like they're just trying to paint the zone and maybe they'll toss it out. Yep, to pressure the enemy plat, their spawn. And we do have this roller coming in, but the Crab Deck's going to be popped. He's trying to survive. And it ends up being a trade.
Honestly, I'll take a trade as
I'll
a roller versus the crab any day. So great plays coming out from Slug right there on that roller to kind of open things up for them. And Los Inklings gonna take the lead right here, showing a lot of signs of life coming into this game now. Oh, but that's gonna be unfortunate. Walks right into that auto bomb right there, and that might allow X-Ray and the rest of Frostbite to kind of take control of the zone, and they do. That's a 3-down situation right now for Los Inklings. This is where it's really going to tell the tale of this match. Are they going to be able to come back into this one? Or he got a nice shot coming in from the E-Leader right here to take down Slug before they're able to get anything done right here. But, oh, now they've got the Explosion going up against that Crab Tank a little bit. Are they going to be able to cap the zone with that Ink Storm right there? And they are. So they still hold on to the lead. This is still a really good showing from them. And they're able to take down X-Ray once again. So Los Inklings showing a lot of signs of life in this game, and they might be able to take this one.
They're showing exactly why they are so insistent on picking this Brine-Water map into the E-Leader. They definitely have a game plan, and maybe they just weren't able to execute it on that first game, but they're definitely executing it now. Unfortunately, the zone did go back to the way of Frostbite, and now Los Inklings does need to find a way out. They do have that Ink Storm at the ready. It's going to get tossed out, but that, once again, the E-Leader showing its power, able to take out the Explosher. Frostbite is 2 down. The zone's going to get neutralized, but immediately recapped. That Ink Storm not able to really finalize the deal. And, alright, there's going to be a 2-for-1, it looks like. And now this big bubbler is probably going to come in and get some pressure. Yep, right at the enemy plant. The zone is once again in favor of Los Inklings. They need to work their way back into getting the lead. Support coming in a little bit late from the 52, but that is going to be a wipe out on the side of Los Inklings, and Frostbite is pushing up, taking control of the enemy plat and their spawn. They are currently in the lead. Los Inklings needs to do something very soon. They're running out of time here. They don't have any specials. Here comes the Ink Storm. They need to pick the zone right now. They're able to neutralize it. It looks like it should get capped, and it does.
Yeah, nice plays coming out from Los Inklings to find themselves back in this one right here. They are going to need to hold on to the zone for probably the rest of the game, though, if they want to win this one. Though, right as I say that, though, the zone's going to be taken right back to Frostbite right here, as they have one more chance on the side of Los Inklings. We see the Gluga player being pressured heavily, but it's going to roll right over the map. That's going to be pretty unfortunate right there. We do see the specials almost at the ready from the Ink Storm, but are they going to be able to do it? No, actually the Explosion is going to get taken down. Zafra's going to be able to get another pick right there with the Burst Bomb, and things are not looking good as for Los Inklings, as Frostbite is going to be taking that one 2-0 right now, winning a pretty back and forth game. Los Inklings, I think that was their best game of of all 4 times that they played Frostbite, but unfortunately Frostbite's still going to be able to take the lead. And if I have to give it to any player who kind of really stepped up for Frostbite, I think it was Sungura on that E-Leader. Just a lot of timely shots for them, as they were really, every time they needed them to make that shot to make sure that Los Inklings didn't make a strong push or put up another penalty timer, they were able to hit that shot. We saw at one point, the Explosher thought they had an opportunity to move forward with their Ink Storm. Bam, got shot by Sungura. So great plays coming out from that E-Leader, I think, to really keep the pressure on and hit the shots that were needed to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It really was a showcase of what the E-Leader is able to do on that map. But also, I think that we just saw such fantastic glimmers of hope coming out from Los Inklings. They were able to flip that zone on its head and get the lead for a time, and they showed exactly why they are wanting to pick this map. There was some excellent roller play on display, and I think that while the Glugas didn't have the most flashy performance, they were able to accomplish their job. They stayed alive, and they were able to get some pretty solid booyah bombs that allowed them to neutralize the zone or pressure the enemy plat, and that's exactly what I would expect out of someone who's on that weapon if I were if they wanted to pick it or if I wanted to have them pick it. So definitely an excellent showing coming out from Los Inklings. That is going to be the end of their tournament, though, unfortunately. But I don't think there's anything for them to be sad about. They came out, they played to their strengths, sticking with the rollers. We got to see some interesting weapons like the Glugas, and I think that they did a very good job, especially in this rematch that they just had.
Yeah, they put on a great show in that last game in particular. It's got to be, one of the games of the tournament so far. A pretty back and forth match between those two. So you got to give it up to Los Inklings for coming out and putting on a strong performance for us right there. But we're going to be moving on to Frostbite versus Wipeout Punks. And honestly, I think this might end up being the most interesting set of the tournament overall, because I think these two teams both showed signs that they can push Destiny Bond, to giving it their hardest to win that match. And I think both of these teams are going to want to show that against each other and prove that they belong in the grand finals rather than the other.
Yeah, I think that this will probably be the most evenly matched game of the tournament. Both these teams, as we said, they did have some pretty solid showings against Destiny Bond. And it looks like that first map is going to be Hammerhead Bridge. And both of these teams have shown that they do like to run the E-Leader. So I do expect to see that E-Leader battle coming out on this map. The other elements of the comps are subject to change. I know that we have seen Frostbite switch up some things. I'm not sure if we're going to see Wipeout Punks want to change up much that they had, but I am expecting this to be definitely a battle of the E-Leaders first and foremost, and then see which E-Leader has the best support line, who's able to keep their E-Leader in position and really make sure that they are safe.
Yeah, and we saw them also bring out, some pretty aggressive weapons. Both teams were able to bring out Tetra Dualies. We saw that coming in from X-Ray on one side, and I believe it was Yovi on the other, and then Stan coming in with the Zipcaster, or on the Stamper. So interesting picks coming out from both teams right here, as we've got, a pretty, different comp than what we've seen thus far, coming out with the Nautilus on the side of Wipeout Punks.
I have heard some murmurs, some whispers about the viability of the Nautilus. I myself do think it is a weapon that does have some potential. This does have a very solid kit and is a very solid gun. You can see it right there. He's able to take out X-Ray. Unfortunately, the rest of his team is falling around him, and that is going to be a delayed wipeout as you see Sungura get that shot onto Captain Happy, and now they are pushed up into the spawn of Wipeout Punks and looking to get a solid hold started.
Yep, right now it does seem like they were being pressured though by Stan from behind. They're able to deal with Stan rather quickly, but that does allow Wipeout Punks to gain a little bit of turf as they moved on kind of onto this next plat area that they need to clear. They're going to get taken down quickly by the Tetra Dualies alongside, I believe it was a Crab Tank who was just shooting those shots onto them. That was just pressuring them so far back right there. Now we see once again Sungura able to get the better of Captain Happy, able to get another pick right there as they're trying to push in with the Nautilus right here, but they're in a pretty bad situation. Probably not going to be able to paint it. Yeah.
And then that was
dominant.
Sungura definitely showed his E-Leader dominance in that game. He hit very fantastic shots that allowed them to keep good control not only of the enemy spawn but of the zone, and that's exactly why they're able to get this win here on this first game.
Okay, like we said in the last set, we saw them in, Sungura always able to hit those timely shots when needed to just, shut down any attempt at a push coming in from the other team right there. We saw them get two crucial picks onto Captain Happy to just make sure that the E-leader on the other team never felt comfortable, was never able to get into their positions. And if you're able to make sure that the enemy E-leader is not getting into their position, that means that you're always in the position that you want to be as the Charger player. So kudos to Sungura for winning that Charger battle pretty handily in that one, as we're going to be moving on to the counter pick of Wipeout Punks. And yeah, you mentioned right there, there's going to be splat zones on Hagglefish right here. What are your thoughts about this one? As we did see Wipeout Punks on this one earlier, and they kind of got stomped by Destiny Bond, where we were basically watching them fight in their spawn the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the more... I know that people enjoy using it as a counter pick, but it can definitely be one of the more volatile Splat Zones maps. It is very hard to get back out into mid. You kind of have a wasteland of spawn to go through and a lot of area that you need to be able to cover. So I'm curious to see what Wipeout Punks are going to bring out for their composition. I do expect there to continue to be an E-leader, if not only to attempt to continue to match Sungura, or maybe they want to deviate from that plan. Maybe they want to try and be more aggressive. Maybe they don't think that taking this E-leader 1v1 type style is what they need to do to win. I'm also curious to know if they're going to stick with the Nautilus, because I do think that this is one of the better Nautilus maps. Inkstorm is pretty solid at taking control of the Hagglefish zone, and it can be a very useful special on helping you get good paint control so that you're able to actually get out of your spawn in those dire situations where you're locked in.
Yeah, both teams are ready. We're going to be moving on to game number 2 of this losers finals, Frostbite versus Wipeout Punks. Let's take a look at what both of these teams want to bring onto this one. On the side of Wipeout Punks, they aren't going to be changing up anything except for Stan is going to be moving off the Stamper onto a Splash-O-Matic. And on the side of Frostbite, they have no changes to their team composition here.
All right, so they definitely know the value of Crab on this map. I really love Stan on the Stamper, but I can understand why they're making this change. And I want to excellent pick onto the Tetris. Let's see if they can get the zone off of this on Wipeout Punks, and they are. We've got the wall set up to help protect the Crab. Another good pick. That's 3 down on the side of Frostbite, and now this is the time where Wipeout Punks needs to get into the enemy spawn. But they're still trying to deal with the likes of X-Ray, really dominant on those Tetris, able to get those constant trades. So let's see. Now it's time for us to see how Frostbite is going to be able to get back in. You can see the 2 lasers of the E-leaders looking directly at each other, trying to get that snipe on one another. Frostbite has a Crab tank. They're trying to use it to take the zone, but they're only able to get it neutralized. X-Ray is on this flank. It doesn't look like they're aware. They're not aware, but looks like the E-leader on the side of Captain Happy is going to be able to get that trade nonetheless.
Yep, zone kind of neutral between both of these teams right here. Inkstorm is going to be able to help, I believe, Wipeout Punks claim this zone in a second or two. There it goes. Are going to be able to claim the zone back once again and push all the members of Frostbite back, which do see Stan moving on forward. Gonna get taken down by 2, but actually it's kind of a trade as teammates are able to pick up the slack right there and force them back a little bit. Ooh, but that burst bomb actually really crucial in helping them get the pick onto the Nautilus and get themselves back into the zone right here. Frostbite now has a chance to get themselves back into this and rack up some points.
Yeah, their penalty is gone. Now it's all about just being able to push back the enemy. But unfortunately, X-Ray is going to go down. It looks like the zone's going to flip once more, and it does. And now they're pushing up. They're popping Crabs, able to get a trade. But, yep, and now we're looking at the special. They need some special so they can try and break back into this. They do have the Reef Slider. He's going to send it. Isn't able to get anyone, and ends up going down to the E-leader shop.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate timing. I think that was Stan jumping in right there. He was able to dip and dodge their way out of that one. Nice shot coming in from Captain Happy onto one of those Splash-O-Matics right there. Sees the other player on the right side, but doesn't see that Sungura is looking straight at them on the other side. That might open things up for Frostbite to kind of move on forward as they've already dealt with the backline. We see the Splash-O-Matic just trying to throw burst bombs to clear some space for themselves, but were they able to, kind of capitalize off of that situation that Sungura created? They are going to be able to get the lead, or are they going to be able to hold on to the zone for much longer as both teams are battling it out? And it does seem like Wipeout Punks are able to take it right back. So yeah, they were able to get the lead, but you got to think that with the E-Leader down on the other side, they could have been able to get more.
Yeah, I agree, but it looks like right now Wipeout Punks are doing an excellent job, and Sungura accidentally falls down, but he is able to get that jump out and stay alive. Now, Wipeout Punks is putting a lot of pressure onto the spawn. Here comes the crabs out from Frostbite. Let's see if they're able to get a pick with it. They're looking for it, trying to paint the zone, maybe get a neutralization, but Wipeout Punks is going to pop their own crab. And here comes, alright, the crab chain is coming, okay. That's going to be a nice pick and zone, able to neutralize it, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get control. 9 seconds left, they really need to go. Wipeout Punks just needs to paint, but it does flip over. And now they're pushing back Captain Happy. X-Ray does go down. They're looking for a way to potentially get onto the Wipeout Punks spawn, but with the respawns coming in, they're not able to. Killer Whale pushing Sungura off, and that is going to be a death right in the middle of the zone, but he did not neutralize it. And Wipeout Punks is making their way back in. It looks like they have a crab popped also immediately, so they're able to recap, get a nice fresh penalty on Frostbite, and maintain their lead. And their 52 does go down to that wave breaker, but they are still in control. All these two remaining players need to do. Now one remaining player is a bit too aggressive. I don't think he thought that his teammate was going to go down there. He could have just stayed back and tried to keep painting, keep space for his team. But now Frostbite, this is their opportunity. They need to make this a solid hold if they want to win. They're building special. They have Crab and they have Wave Breaker. Let's see what they're able to do with it.
Yeah, right now they're already basically down with that penalty timer. So on the side of Wipeout Punks, they're going to have to do something quick. But that Wave Breaker is going to take down the 52 once again. They're able to get a second pick as well. So things are looking really good for Frostbite to hold on to this one. Crab Tank on the side of Wipeout Punks, trying to dip and dodge and get something to get back into this one. Now we've got the Splash player trying to get back in, but they lost the lead in overtime right at the end of the game.
That is a heartbreaker.
Great showing from Wipeout Punks. That's the match that we wanted to see between these two teams, and Frostbite's the one to take it. But if you're Wipeout Punks, you gotta feel, pretty disheartened right there, as you were in control for most of that game, and it really just came down to one push that you lost.
Yeah, there was multiple occasions for both teams where it seemed like they would go 2 players up, but they just weren't able to capture the enemy plat and really get that strong hold to really lock them out. And right there at the end, we saw Frostbite was able to just get the perfect chain of their specials to really make it hard for Wipeout Punks to come back in. We had the Crab, then we had the Wave Breaker, and then that gave enough time for their other smash to build up the second Crab, and that second Crab really locked up the game for them and was what allowed them to win in overtime. Just really excellent special usage.
As we go on to I believe it is going to be the next counter pick of Wipeout Punks right here. This is going to be their last counter pick of the set. They have to win 3 in a row, so any counter picks from here on out will be going over to Frostbite here. We are going to be going over to Flounder Heights. Interested to see how this one plays out, as we haven't seen either of these two teams on this map, but we are pretty familiar with their comps at this point. Obviously, Sungura so far has been, I think, getting the advantage of Captain Happy in that E-Leader battle. So maybe Captain Happy wants to switch off onto something else. We saw them use a Splash-O-Matic, I believe, in one of the earlier games. Are they going to be wanting to do that once again here? Or are they going to be, trying to combat Sungura once again and maybe come up with something new to win that Charger 1v1? Because it really seemed like Sungura was able to get, I'd say, at least 90% of the picks in their favor versus Captain Happy.
Yeah, Sungura's definitely up in the E-Leader stats, I would say. But Flounder Heights is going to be a very different map. We have not seen this at all tonight. And Flounder Heights did go through some pretty good changes, I would say, from Splatoon 1 to when it's coming in now in Splatoon 3. I'm curious to see what the comps are going to look like. Okay, Tech and a Machine coming in for Wipeout Punks, and then the Splatling and a Tech coming in for Frostbite. So it looks like they both have similar ideas of what they want. They're recognizing the power of the Tri-Strike, but Wipeout Punks is also adding in the addition of a Booyah Bomb. Both Tri-Strike and Booyah Bomb are going to be able to really take control of the zones very excellently. It looks like Wipeout Punks, they're going to get the first cap off the back of that pick.
Yeah, nice strong start by Wipeout Punks once again, but we did see them with a strong start in the last game. Are they going to be able to hold on to these zones for the rest of the game here? They've got the specials coming up. They already wasted the Killer Whale. Are they going to be able to build up some other specials before Frostbite is able to build theirs? It seems like so far things are working out in their favor. You kind of can take the trades going in your favor if you are in control of those zones. So far things are working out pretty good for them. It's already gone down to 40 on this timer right here. That though is the first, I think, pick where they weren't able to get a trade out of it, so that might open things up for Frostbite to kind of move in here. But thus far it seems like they're still in control as they've got 4 members right back into the zone.
Holding it. I've seen a few times the Tech of Frostbite has popped that Tri-Strike, but it's been in a bit of a panic, and when you that special is not going to save you from death if someone's if a shooter's staring you right down in your face. Unfortunately, we see the machine go down to an unfortunate bomb placement right there. But this is the time. This is when Frostbite needs to make a move right now. Get that Splatling into position. Because if the Splatling does get set up on this map, they could have a very strong hold of their own coming in, and they are going to get that penalty. And look, yep, they're working on taking control of that ramp. You can see X-Ray down there, really getting aggressive, just popping his breeze slider. And here comes the Tri-Strikes of Wipeout Punks, and able to neutralize for that little bit of time, but it's not enough. They need people to be able to push up this ramp, but they just keep going down. They keep getting staggered.
Yeah, right there. It does seem like, that one bomb was really all it took for, just to give Frostbite that inch of opportunity to move on forward, and they were able to take advantage of it right now as we see Wipeout Punks kind of struggling to find their way back into this one. You see the Wave Breaker to space them out a little bit. The Tri-Strike is going to come in to neutralize the zone for a second. That's going to be going right back now. So they were able to get a pick, possibly able to look for more with their Crab Tank right here as they kind of clear out their zone. Oh, but there is somebody behind them. It is X-Ray, able to get taken down quickly. Nice play by Stan right there to just turn around and deal with X-Ray quickly before they became too much of a nuisance there. But Stan, though, is going to get taken down right in front of the Booyah Bomb. Is going to be just pushing on forward. Once again, X-Ray right back into this one. I would have liked for them to honestly use that Booyah Bomb on the other zone and push forward from there. You were already fighting for that zone.
They can't get the penalty. They're able to keep capping their zone, but they can't get across the bridge and get that penalty. And the specials just keep coming out from Frostbite. Here comes the Tri-Strike to the enemy zone, but you need both zones to get the penalty, and they go 3 down, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, I really would have liked for them to use the Booyah Bomb on the back zone. Because you had enough paint pressure to at least claim the zone in front of you and maybe throw up a penalty, but more than that, it put pressure onto Frostbite. If you're throwing the zone onto the Booyah Bomb onto their side, forces them to paint behind them or forces them to just scatter around because they're afraid that the Booyah Bomb will kill them. So I think that was a little bit of a misplay coming out from Wipeout Punks, but overall I think it was a pretty even fight between the two teams, despite Frostbite taking it 3-0. I think there were signs of life between both teams, and they were really able to go toe-to-toe for the most part.
Yeah, we really saw where the difficulty of this flounder comes from. Neither team could really get back up that ramp after they lost control. And eventually, Frostbite was able to win it out, but not before. We did see that the Wipeout Punch was able to get it to like 30-ish points on their timer, and that is not an easy thing to come back from. So props to them; they were able to weather the storm and actually make their way back up the ramp and actually get control and get a good hold going. And when we look at the composition that was coming out from Wipeout Punks, I really would have preferred or liked to see that they try to combo the likes of that Tri-Strike with the Booyah Bomb. That way you can use one of them to push the enemy team back and maybe get them caught up in the other one. So there was a point where they did actually have them kind of synced up, and it would have been nice to see the tri-strike go down onto their zone, and then maybe the booyah bomb tossed at the enemy zone. That way, they're kind of having to deal with Frostbite has to deal with kind of a double attack coming out there.
Yeah, and you mentioned both teams are really struggling to find their way back into the mid, and I think it really just came down to that random bomb that came in from probably the Tennesec player on the side of Frostbite that was just able to get a pick when they were in control, and from there that just opened up the opportunity for them to really hold on to this one and pull out the victory.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe we are going to be taking a look at our slides. Yep. All right, guys, you are watching Vortex Gallery 2023. This is the absolute biggest community driven bunch of community driven tournaments ever. We have tournaments. You're watching Splatoon 3 right now, but there's tournaments for many fighting games and just so many different games. Even if there's a game that's not featured here at Vortex Gallery, you can suggest it. That's definitely one of the
Hmm.
best things about Vortex Gallery. That's how Splatoon got in. Our wonderful tournament organizers, they said, we want to add Splatoon 3 into Vortex Gallery, and Vortex Gallery welcomed the Splatoon community with open arms, and they were happy to have us, and we're happy to be here. So definitely check out the rest of the Vortex Gallery events. You can even go on Twitter and check out the hashtag right down there, VGON23. You can to see all the action across all the different events. Make sure to follow the Twitters, check out the website, all of that stuff. We really do love Vortex Gallery, and we're thankful they were welcoming of the Splatoon community under their umbrella.
Yeah, for sure. And if you want to check out any of the great Vortex Gallery merch shop, you can do so at 956pro.com/shop to see, everything that Vortex Gallery has to offer in their shop. They've got great artwork done by amazing artists, and take a look at them, see if you'd like to contribute, to everything that Vortex Gallery's got going on. They got some great work going on in their shops.
Yeah, definitely check that out. And of course, make sure you check out the Match Arena. Let's get an exclamation point Match Arena in the chat. With the Match Arena, you are able to help crowd fund and support the tournament you are watching right now. You can just go ahead and check it out, and within seconds, you are able to help support the pot with the various means of free support. There's several
Mhm.
different links that you can take, even a survey to help contribute. And earlier we even had someone donate $20 as a contribution to the pot for our players. So everything that you give to everything that you do and give through the Match Arena does support the players. It helps grow the pot a little bit more, and just it's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing that you're able to do here.
Yeah, and it also, honestly shows Matcherino that people are interested in Splatoon and supporting the Splatoon community. So it's a great thing to do as we're looking at, one of the events hosted in San Jose, California at the Guild House. It is going to be Slashback, which takes place on March 18th and March 19th, coming up rather quickly. And they've got an assortment of great fighting games here. They've got basically every Guilty Gear that you've ever wanted to play there. A Grand Blue Fantasy, DNF Duel. They've got it all right here. And other fan favorites like Blaze Blue and Melty Buds. So definitely for all you fighting game players out there, check out Slashback at the Guild House, coming out real soon.
All right, and it looks like we are in the lobby. This is going to be our grand finals, folks. And in the winner's side, we do have Destiny Bond. They were seeded number 1 for a reason, and they have been showing it off in this tournament. But from the loser side, we have Frostbite, who you have already seen put up some very strong showings. Frostbite will need to win twice if they want to take this tournament. Let's see if they're able to pull it out.
Yep, we saw earlier Frostbite get taken down by Destiny Bond 2-0, as you mentioned there. But, they showed that they can at least hang with them and force Destiny Bond, to really play to their best if they were going to beat them. So I think Frostbite, coming off a nice strong victory against Wipeout Punks, where I think both of us thought, it could be a set that went the distance, favorably for Frostbite, they were able to quickly, finish that one in a 3-0. But I think they have to be feeling the momentum so far, and they might be able to, to put Destiny Bond on their heels going into this first game. As Destiny Bond's been waiting in grand finals for quite a bit. We've seen that in Splatoon tournaments in the past, where a team waiting in grand finals doesn't have the strongest start that they would like to. And I think this is where Frostbite could really turn the tides and try and take the fight over to Destiny Bond.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am going to be putting my eyes on Sungura. We saw some fantastic shots coming out from them in their past few matches. Let's see if they can keep that hot streak going, because if Sungura is able to do what they've been doing in their last 2 matches, there is a good chance that Frostbite can take this, or at least make this even closer than it was before in the winner's bracket against Destiny Bond. And I think that Sungura is definitely going to be a very key element to what they're going to do. I have to wonder if we're going to see that, if we're going to see any more. I think they really know how they want to play their composition. I don't expect to see any changes. But Destiny Bond, who knows what they're going to pull out. We did see Jared on the squeezer. That was a first for me personally, and I watched a lot of Jared in tournament. Yeah, let's see. And we're going to Inkblot Art Academy for the first match here. Okay, we are going to see Jared on that squeezer again. And then on the side of Frostbite, no change. They're going to be sticking to what they've been playing. It will be the double 52 on the side of Destiny Bond, backed up with the squeezer and that singular splash. And we are going to see Frostbite get the first pick. Let's see if they can get a second, and they can. That should be the zone for them.
Yep, 2 nice picks coming out from them so far. And they're able to get control of this zone pretty quickly right there. We saw the quick pick onto Zero to open things up. Then they were able to put a lot of pressure onto Jared. Now they're putting pressure onto this 52 player once again, but Bliss is going to be able to take them down right there. That should be the zone going back in favor of Destiny Bond right here. But right there, you see the signs of life from Frostbite. They're able to hang with the this powerhouse in Destiny Bond. They just need to be able to hold on to the zone for a longer time and really execute the pushes that they would like to execute right here, as we see Sungura taken down, unfortunately, rather quickly by the Crab Tank. So far, Sungura hasn't been too much of a factor going into this one.
Yeah, unfortunately. It looks like, X-Ray is going to get taken care of. That is 2 down on the side of Destiny Bond. Unfortunately, that's going to be 2 down on Frostbite as well. Looks like they're jumping in. They should be able to cap the zone off this with the Crab Tank in there and supporting the jumps coming in. But no, it looks like they got backstabbed from behind by one of the 52s. And it's just, the zone's just going to be neutral for a little bit until it is once again put in control of Destiny Bond. Frostbite really needs to focus on, they need to get these Crab Tanks up. They have that advantage. They have 2 Crab Tanks. And they have that ability to create chaos. Excellent shot coming out from Sungura, and at the same time, it looks like a 52 went down. They should be able to get the zone from this. Here comes the Reef Slider to take out Wally.
Just took out the crash. I didn't know that was a thing.
That is an excellent play. Let's see if they can get onto Destiny Bond's plat with this and then start applying some pressure. They have the Wave Breaker up there. X-Ray's going in. Let's see if he can get anything. Unfortunately not. He is going to go down. The whales are coming out, trying to create some space for Destiny Bond to get back into this mid. But the Crab Tank coming out from left, able to get a trade. The timer's still ticking down. Sungura is trying to look for a pick. Unfortunately, the zone's going neutral. He should get this jump, and he does. Excellent play coming out from Sungura.
Yep, right now, Crab Tank on the right is going to end. They do have control of the zone, or most of the turf around the zone is Destiny Bomb, but they do have 2 taken down. That should open up things for Frostbite to get the zone, and they do. Applying some pressure with those burst bombs. Got the Wave Breaker onto their plat, and then throwing up burst bombs and auto bombs up there as well. They do spot out one on the left. It was a 52 guy. I think they dealt with it pretty quickly, but no, actually Zero is still down there on their left side right now. We've thrown up the whale into the zone. They might be able to get the lead here if they hold on to it for much longer, but no, Destiny Bomb comes swinging right back. Trizuka coming in from Jared is going to put some pressure on him. A nice shot to get X-Ray right there. So close to getting that lead, but Destiny Bond ends there. Any hope that they had right there. We still have 2 minutes left in this game, though, so Frostbite could definitely make another push if they've already got 2 down. Once again, Frostbite's looking like they can do this if they're able to put up another strong hold here.
They really need to get these crab tanks up. They need to get these 2 crab tanks up. We can see, okay, here comes one. I think it's popped a little bit early, able to get 1 kill. He sees the other player swimming around at the bottom of the zone. Tossing out burst bombs, able to get another excellent burst bombs coming up. And now they just need to maintain control of zone, play together, keep getting these picks, and that's exactly what they're doing. Destiny Bond is continuing going down. They're staggering their deaths. The zone is currently neutral. Frostbite really needs to paint. They really need to paint. Sungora is looking for a pick. Let's see if he can get it. Unfortunately, just a few missed shots. And Destiny Bond is able to get the zone flipped back into their favor. There's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Both the crabs coming out, but unfortunately they're taken care of immediately. X-Ray jumping in, not able to find anything either, and that's 3 down for Frostbite. The Wavebreaker's tossed out in desperation, but it's not really going to get anything done without the frontliners of those shooters to follow up on it. And here comes Zuka out of Jared. Let's see if we can find a pick.
Jared gets taken down right away by X-Ray and the rest of the gang here, but actually X-Ray's going to get taken down pretty quick. So is Sungura at the moment. They just have crab tanks try and throw onto the zone right here, and now they have to play this carefully. They want to make sure that they have all their members ready to push on this, but they don't really have too much time. Like that pick from Sungura is pretty crucial. They just need to paint the zone, but it's only Sungura and the splash player on the right, and I don't think they have the paint to really, contest this right now, as it's going to go right back to him. Sungura elects to, go for the charger shot onto the jump, which, I mean, that's crucial, but it required the rest of the team to really put the paint pressure onto the zone, and they just weren't in the position to do so at that time.
Yeah, and once again, that was a very closely played game. Yeah, that was very back and forth. There were definitely points in there, especially that was a 2-point difference. It was, I believe it was 13-15 on the timer, and they were so close. They just needed to have a little bit more focus on painting the zone there, and I think they could have had the lead and potentially even the game. There were a few points in that match where I feel like they just needed to put a little more focus on getting those specials up. Having those 2 crab tanks is a big bonus when they are facing a comp like what Destiny Bond is running, where they're electing to only be running 1. So if they just put a little more emphasis on their specials, who knows how that game could have ended up going. But it looks like we are going to be going into Brine Water. This is going to be the counter pick of Frostbite. So they also favor Brine Water. They know what Sungura can do on this map, and we have seen what Sungura can do in this map. Let's see if he's able to do it again.
Yeah, we also did see Wally's capable of bringing out, an E-leader if needed. So probably expecting that to come out of Wally once again. But, we've seen different things come out from them throughout this tournament on the side of Destiny Bomb. We've seen them bring out a Hydra. We've seen them go with a full-on aggression comp where all of them are playing those, aggressive shooter-type weapons. So I think Wally, could pull out really anything here, but the fact that they're taking a little bit longer than the rest to ready up, I think it means Wally's considering switching over to E-leader.
Yeah, we've seen several different looks from Destiny Bond. Some a little bit more fun than others, I would say, but strong showings from each comp nonetheless. Looks like Frostbite is also taking a little bit of time to ready up themselves, maybe considering some changes that they might want to bring through to play on this Brine Water map, maybe discussing some strategies that they think will help give them an edge. I do think that I do expect to see Wally bring out some backline weapon, whether it's the Hydra or the Vanilla Splowing or even an E-leader. But I do think that Frostbite had a very strong showing on that first map. Let's see if they can tie it up right now on Brine Water.
Yep. Oh, we do see Wally bringing out the Nova splatter shot, a weapon we don't see too often right here. But yeah, you mentioned it, that triple whale comp coming in, that Nova splatter shot, builds that whale rather quickly. We already see him at halfway to whale, but they do have the zone so far on the side of Frostbite. Pick going in favor of both teams at the moment right here, as they are able to get a second one though. So Destiny Bond has the man advantage at the moment. They should be able to cap the zone, and they do. And that's putting the pressure up onto Sungura and the rest of Frostbite, as now they have to fight their way back into this one. They are able to get 1 pick going right there. So that should open up some things for them. Throw up the wave breaker as well, clear out most of the space in the middle of the map. But Zero comes in and gonna regroup with the rest of their team here on the right side to make something happen, but it seems like Frostbite has them, I was gonna say right where they wanted, but right before, not before the Trizuka shot comes out and forces everyone away.
Those were some excellent Trizuka shots pulling out from Jared. And with this composition that Destiny Bond is running, they are using the triple whale. They do not have the most. Whale is not the most amazing special at providing pressure, especially when you're facing down the likes of a double crab comp. But one thing that the whales do have over the crabs is that they're actually pretty good at dealing with them. They're going to make it so those crabs are going to have to go into ball mode and really just roll around. And as we can see, they're chaining those whales together. They're tossing out those balls, and also with the markers coming out from the Nova, they have perfect information of where the enemy is going at all times. It looks like Wally is playing more of that backline position in the middle of the map, just tossing out those markers, keeping that information going. And yeah, that's going to be it. That was a very cleanly played game coming out from Destiny Bond with this triple whale composition.
Yeah, very interesting comp that came out, but it works out for them pretty handily right there. We saw them in complete control of the game and able to get a pretty quick knockout as well. We saw X-Ray kind of causing a distraction there at the end and possibly opening up the opportunity for Frostbite. But I think whatever players just stayed up on the plat area or just moving up into the spawn area of Frostbite that were on Destiny Bond's side, they were really, just able to get those picks and make sure that no one was able to even capitalize off the distraction that, X-Ray created. So nice plays coming out from Destiny Bond to take that one handily as we move on to game number 3 here. And Frostbite needs to win this one or their tournament's over.
Yeah, they do need to win this one, but I mean, how much can they do, especially when you have the likes of Jared? I mean, that triple kill with the Zuka, I'm sure they were not prepared for that. I mean, he shot one directly up over one of the signs in Brinewater and was just able to get a pick, and then he flicks down to the right and is able to get the person who's aggressing on him and his teammate. I mean, what can you really do when everyone on Destiny Bond is just, they're all capable of pulling out plays like that at a moment's notice, and it really shows what separates like the top tier North American teams from what we consider to be more of a mid-level team in Frostbite. I mean, Destiny Bond is just they're all playing out of their mind.
Yeah, I mean, with Frostbite, like we said before, they've got a chance to turn this one back in their favor. They've shown that, they're points away from victory against Destiny Bond. So they definitely have a chance in this one. That one didn't quite work out in their favor. And, they went to the E-Leader map because, they possibly wanted to play into Sungura a little bit. But, we didn't really see Sungura making that many shots as we were accustomed to. But also, I think the fact that they had, the 5 killer whales,
yeah,
Sungura was never able to feel comfortable.
He just wasn't able to find a home on that E-Leader. I mean, the triple killer whale, that's another thing that I didn't really highlight, but that is going to make it so your E-Leader cannot really set up. There's always going to be at least one whale probably staring him down in the face, making him have to move. He's not able to get that charge and look for that pick. But we are moving into this third game. It is do or die for Frostbite. They need to win this one, and they have elected to go to Mincemeat Metalworks. Now, this is a volatile one. Definitely a good E-Leader map, and we're going to be looking at some long sight lines, just painting that zone. These crabs are going to be very powerful, but on the side of Destiny Bond, we've brought out, once again, we have Jared on the Tetras, and we've got Wally on the Tri-Stringer.
Yeah.
They're once again triple whale, just this time opting for a Tri-Stringer instead. And that first whale already on Sungura with the whale, forcing him to move, and that's going to be the zone cap off of that. But 2 down for Destiny Bond, 2 down also for Frostbite. It doesn't look like they're able to move forward, as one of the people still alive is just going to be Sungura. He's trying to paint the zone. This is something that E-Leader is quite good at. Excellent shot onto Jared. And now, yep, there's that crab. First crab coming in. That's 3 down on the side of Destiny Bond, and that is going to be the flip for Frostbite. Let's see what Sungura can do now that he has some time to really get set up on their truck.
Oh, but right
And
as you
there's a
say
whale.
that, the killer whale
And
comes in right away. Sungura, though, still putting up a decent amount of pressure there. X-Ray able to get a trade with Zero right there before going down. So Sungura still in a pretty decent position to put some pressure on them, but has to just deal with the killer whales being thrown at them constantly. Zone in favor of Frostbite at the moment. That their own killer whale, or I actually don't even know. I think that was just the E leader pointing that player out right there, a Ordo Bomb. Everybody looked over to take them down pretty quickly together. So nice play coming in from Frostbite. And X-Ray going down once again, but they're in control of the zone for the most part. This Crab Tank, though, is in a pretty bad position, being cornered by multiple players, gonna get taken down. Sungura's the only one who's kind of able to put up any type of pressure, but it seems like everybody on the side of Destiny Bond, it just realizes they're the last one left. This is where we keep up the pressure, this is where we get in their spawn, and this is where we keep them out of the game.
Yep, and now we're gonna see these double walls really go to work right up here on this plat of Frostbite. It's gonna be really hard for them to push down, especially when they have the speed lead. They're not really gonna be able to get some good shots, especially you can see Zero just sharking right here, just under. He does go down to the likes of that grab tank, but that is gonna be 3 down for Destiny Bond, but it's gonna take a while. They still have to deal with Jared, and he's just delay. And by the time they get into this mid, yeah, Destiny Bond, they're already back, so they're able to flip it, but for how long?
Yep, nice
Okay,
pick right there to take down Bliss. That's going to start things off with this hold right here. They've also got the Crab Tank at the ready, but Whales are on them right now, and they just have to dip and dodge away. They see Zero right there, unable to get the pick onto them despite landing their shots first. But Zero's going to take advantage of the 2-shot kill that is the 52 gal to win that one. Now they're in control of the zone. Is Destiny Bond once again. They know that there's a player off on this left side all alone. They're able to take down Reborn rather quickly, and things are not looking too good for Frostbite. But actually, as we're saying,
They're not
the zone,
in control of the zone.
the zone was in the favor.
I was
of
just
the
looking, I
other
was like,
team.
wait a second, it's ticking down for Frostbite. They're
Yeah.
not in control of the zone, and Zero is getting very aggressive here with this wall on the grates. He doesn't really have any space to move, but he's still able to get a trade with X-Ray. And now we do have this toxicness coming out from the Tri-Stringer. Goes down to that crab, and it looks like we're going to be able to get a flip here. And we do. So they're keeping up this timer, but it just keeps being trades. They're not able to get a solid hold going. X-Ray's jumping in, trying to come into support, but it's too late. His teammate on the splash does go down, and it looks like Destiny Bond is going to get right back to work up in the enemy plant. They want to close out this tournament. They want to close it out now. They are going in. Everyone is there. They are leaving the Tri-Stringer back here to just do its thing, especially after the first buff the Tri-Stringer got. It actually does paint quite a lot, and it's going to be pretty good at holding the zone. Wow, excellent shot onto X-Ray. Oh my gosh, that was very, very good shot. Comes the whale, and that's the game and the tournament.
Yeah, the tournament going to Destiny Bond pretty handily in a 3-0 victory. You know, Destiny Bond was the strongest team on paper in this victory, and they're showing in this tournament rather, and showing exactly why, as they were able to pull out multiple comps to get the victory. And I think, yeah, even though we were seeing some unconventional weapons coming out from, you know, Wally and some other player and Jared at one point, but you know, those unconventional weapons still had a lot of purpose behind them, and you saw that killer whales were definitely disrupting Sungura's play. And towards the end of that last game, we weren't really talking about them at all anymore, despite at the beginning them showing some, you know, some great plays to keep their team in it. So great plays coming out from Destiny Bond to win that one, and you know, they're the champions of Vortex Gallery Splatoon 3 2023.
Yeah, very excellent play coming out from both sides. Destiny Bond is going to be able to take the first ever Splatoon 3 tournament for Vortex Gallery. But yeah, just I mean, we said it in the beginning. They were the number one seed for a reason, and they definitely showcased why they are
Hmm.
considered a top team in North America for this game. The triple whale comp, while interesting, it's definitely had purpose. They knew who the star of the show on the other side was. They were definitely focusing on Sungura. It's interesting to see, especially when we do know that this is a very, what I would say, a crab centric meta right now. It's all about the crabs. I mean, we even saw Frostbite running 2 splashes. That weapon is incredibly powerful. The special is incredibly powerful. But Destiny Bond, they were able to weather the storm. They showed that they're able to put up the numbers versus the meta and play to their own style, and it definitely worked.
Yeah, and also, obviously we mentioned, got to give a lot of shout out to Destiny Mon for how they played, but looking forward to the future of the competitive community, and I think this North American scene in general is there's a lot of promise coming out from Frostbite and Wipeout Punks and the other teams as well. So I think there's a lot to be said about the performance that they put on here today, and I'm excited to see what they do in the future because to make to take Destiny Bond to such close games time and time again. Yeah, there were some blowouts in there, but a lot of the games were close as well. That I think that shows a lot of strength, and they're moving in the right direction. And they're going to see some results soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Frostbite showed some fantastic promise, and also Wipeout Punks Stan on that
Hmm.
stamper. He looked fantastic, and I cannot wait to see that guy play in some more events with his team. That the stamper has really come into play in the meta, and when you have a strong stamper player on your squad and he's able to get stuff done like Stan did, that shows that there's going to be a lot of good things to come for Stan, the entire likes of Wipeout Punks. So very excellent North American Splatoon coming out today here at Vortex Gallery. And with fresh season right around the corner, who knows? Maybe the meta is gonna shake up even more. Maybe Destiny Bond is a bit ahead of the game. Maybe for all we know, Triple Whale will become the Triple Whale will become the next big thing. Maybe Crab is on its way out. I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
You beat it on stream. You have.
Wait, Manabe's muted on stream. Oh no. Oh no. You guys couldn't hear
You
that.
couldn't hear anything.
You
Got it.
guys could not hear what anything Manabe was just saying. It's okay. Run it back. Run it back. Run it back.
Run it back, Manabe. Run it
Run it
back. You
back,
got
Manabe. Run it
this.
back. Run it back.
All right, so
Okay, it's
we're gonna
fine.
do it for Manabe at this point.
You can
Thanks
ignore our
everyone for
fantastic
showing up
stream.
to
Yes.
Vortex Gallery. As Manabe said, and everyone obviously heard, a bit weird to have Splatoon 3 part of this fighting game tournament experience. But we're glad to have Vortex Gallery open up themselves to Splatoon 3 here, and hopefully we can see it again in the future. As Manabe said, maybe they'll win some weird ass games in the future as well as a part of Vortex Gallery tournaments. But stay tuned for that. And just thank everyone at Vortex Gallery, all the TOs, everyone who showed up here today, to really make this one a special event. And we're glad we can make that happen.
Yeah, please do show your support to Vortex Gallery, all their socials and everything on screen. We want to be able to bring Splatoon back. This is the first year that we decided to bring it here to Vortex Gallery. We're thankful that they welcomed us, and I think that we definitely want to be back next year for 2024 Vortex Gallery also.
All right.
Okay.
Good
Yeah, we
night,
are
guys.
going to be rating another Vortex Gallery stream. So thank you so much, guys. That is going to be it for us here at the Splatoon segment. And yeah, thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed.